Hey everybody, welcome once again to the Football Fandemic, where we are at the halfway point of the season. Right before the trade deadline, we're going to look at who should be buying, who should be selling, who should just be sitting back and watching, and a week of lopsided football. All that and more right here on the Football Fandemic. Welcome, everybody. I'm Matthew Thomas here with Josh Kolojeski and Brandon Colmark. And if you're watching this on YouTube streaming instead of just listening on Spotify or Apple, you will have noticed that I am drinking out of this nice 7-1 win Colts team mug. This nice cup of coffee right here. Taste Daniel Jones going down. That is some good stuff right there. Hey guys, we are just at the halfway point, kind of. When you have 17 games, you got to pick a place to be halfway, and you might as well pick 8, right? 9 could also count, I guess, halfway, because there are 18 weeks in the year with bye weeks. So probably next week really counts as the halfway point for sure. But we're close enough to talk about, and we definitely want to talk about that this week, because it is the trade deadline coming up, which actually is on a Tuesday, isn't it?
It is.
We will actually be doing this show at the close of the trade deadline next week. It's something we've never been able to do because we usually record on Thursdays. We're now recording on Tuesdays, so hopefully everyone has made it over here. Or if you're hearing this on Spotify or Apple or whatever later, you will know, hey, I can pick that up right as all that trade craziness is going on. And maybe we'll be sitting here like Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport with our phones, watching for quick text. Brandon will be making trades on the spot because he is an owner and he can do that sort of thing. He has the power. I tried. I called him up and I said, listen, can we get Trey Hendrickson? And nobody has responded to me at all yet. But anyway, we're going to be talking a little bit about buying, selling, trading, at least with homer teams, and some other teams. Maybe we'll hit the teams that really should be doing that. But we're also going to, as always, start with our news around the NFL that has happened this week. And it's been a pretty crazy week in the NFL. What have we had news-wise, Josh?
Yeah, well, the quarterback carousel is going to continue here, as we're probably sure that Jaden Daniels is going to come back next week. Nothing certain there. John Harbaugh says that Lamar Jackson should return on Thursday of this week, so he would be back after a couple of games split between Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley. And then the Saints are going to go with Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough, of course, is the second-round pick out of Louisville, who spent about 7 years throughout as an NCAA quarterback with about 6 different schools, I think, Oregon, and ended with Louisville. He got some run at the end of this last game. He's going to take over versus Spencer Rattler. And then finally, J.J. McCarthy is expected to be back this Sunday.
Well, that's good, because who else do you have? I mean, really.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is out for the season now. He injured his shoulder. He injured his shoulder back. I think it might have been in London beforehand. Yeah, back in week 5. Because I remember Max Brosmer took a knee to end out that first half, and we're like, oh, we might have Brosmer throughout the course of the second half, and that is not what happened. Wentz, gutted through it, but he is going to be out for the rest of the season. There's all these like forms of torture that they used to even use in medieval times. The stretching rack, the thing with the coffin with the spikes in it, all of that sort of stuff.
I believe that's called the Iron Maiden.
The Iron Maiden, thank you. And none of that compared to what Kevin O'Connell put Carson Wentz through on Thursday night, because he got bruised, battered, and beat up all over the field.
Yeah, he definitely was not looking good on the sideline, and I believe there was a reporter that was like, "Look at that! That's your alpha male right there. He's got to gut it out," and then people were like jumping all over that guy. So. By the way, I knew that Iron Maiden thing because I was a product of the 80s. That was a metal band of the 80s, which might have been as much torture as a coffin with spikes in it. I don't know. Depends on if you liked Iron Maiden or not. I remember listening to something they did once, but I can't remember what it was. So obviously I wasn't a huge Iron Maiden fan, but maybe we're not going to take it. No, that was Twisted Sister. Another podcast, not the football Fandemic for sure. But anyway, so we got some quarterbacks changing places, some coming back, JJ. And so I'm sure you're excited to see what that's going to look like. But what else do we have besides the quarterback shuffle in the way of news this week? Because I know there's some more. Has to be, right?
Yes. Well, if we're going to talk about trades later on in the show, one team has already gotten a jump start, and that is the Los Angeles Rams trading for Tennessee Titans cornerback Roger McCreary. The Rams also getting a 2026 6th-round pick, and they are sending a 2026 5th-round pick back to Tennessee to complete that deal. McCreary, a solid veteran guy for a Rams defense who's really only weakness so far has been cornerback. He's not going to be your number one guy, but he is definitely a guy that can provide some depth and experience for you in that secondary for Los Angeles.
I was just going to ask, is he any good? It's so hard for me to evaluate talent on a team like the Tennessee Titans because they just look so bad. It's hard for you to pick out like, okay, this guy's actually okay. He's just on a really bad team. So when that trade came through, I'm like, well, okay. I don't know what that means. Good, bad? I don't know. So it's good to hear he's a solid veteran, not a starter, but like someone they can depend on for depth.
Yeah, and hopefully won't get burned too much. Because really, once they shore up their secondary, that defense can be one of the tops in the NFC. And then some teams that are not going to be trading away their players. That we mentioned Max Crosby and the Raiders. Both of them want to stay together and keep their relationship going for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what Max Crosby is getting out of that, but except for a lot of money. The Giants are not going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau, they say. So they have that three edge rushing group, and neither of those three, obviously not Abdul Carter. You're not going to trade Brian Burns. Thibodeau might have been the odd man out, but he is going to stay as well.
And here's the thing. If they would have lost maybe one more before now, they might have been like, the season's a throwaway. Now, that whole Joe Dart, Cam Scatterboo gave him some hope. Now, Scatterboo, I'm sure you're going to talk about that in a second as far as news. But like, even with that, I think they instilled just enough hope that they're like, we better keep our guys. We better keep this guy, because I was really hoping he would kind of pop up when the fire sale started, when they realized this team is shot for this year. But no, they had to win. What'd they win? 2 games? That was enough
so far.
That's enough hope for a Giants fan. They're like, we're going to make it. Let's keep them.
And then the Jets have been taking calls, or at least have received calls. I don't know if they are soliciting these calls in the first place, but for Quinnen Williams, and Breece Hall, so their defensive tackle and their star running back Hall is going to become a free agent at the end of this year. And then teams have also reached out to the Raiders for their wide receiver, Jacoby Myers, who has been asking for a trade since before the season started. And now that situation, the wide receiver room getting even murkier in Las Vegas because Tyler Lockett has rejoined with Pete Carroll and is now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders after being cut from the Tennessee Titans last week. That is like going from the Titanic straight to the Edmund Fitzgerald, and you're going to have to grab a lifeboat there, Mr. Lockett.
Yeah, he sure didn't get on like a lifeboat itself. Like the Coast Guard's out there. He's like, wait, I see a door over there. Can I just sit on that for a while? Oh, man. He might not go down with everybody, but he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to sit on his door. All right. What else we got in the way of news? Anything big? Anything?
Well, you mentioned Cam Scatterboo. That is a dislocated ankle injury, and not only a dislocated ankle, but a open dislocation, which I believe is when the skin tears, maybe that's something else. But I once had a dislocated ankle when I was in high school, and it was in our church's gymnasium. We were playing football. I leapt up for a pass and fell right on my right ankle. It snapped to the inside. His snapped to the outside. But Mr. Scatterboo, 2.5 weeks later, on our fall retreat with my youth group, I was playing in our football tournament and catching a touchdown with a boot on. So if I can do it, you certainly can too, Cam Scatterboo.
and my fantasy team would love that.
Yes.
One less injury.
Yeah. Man, I was watching that when it happened, and like when I saw his ankle turn the way it was, I'm like, yikes, that's not good. That is not good.
Yeah, it did not look pretty. And then Ed Oliver is another guy who suffered an injury. He has torn his bicep, so it says he's out indefinitely. He's the Bills' defensive tackle, and really the only guy that is able to stop the run on that defensive line so far this season for Buffalo. And typically, I think that's usually a season-long injury, but they have not officially said that in the case of Ed Oliver.
Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other news I remember hearing before we move on to our rewind.
I have one more from me. It's the NFL has fined the New York Giants. We all remember that Thursday night football game against the Philadelphia Eagles, where Jackson Dart left with a concussion, and Brian Dable went in and bullied the poor independent specialist. The NFL says that the protocol was not broken. The protocol still went on even with that interruption, but that interruption itself is grounds for a fine. So they have fined Cam Scatabo, who went into the tent as well to check on Jackson Dart. They fined him $15,000. So not just a bad week all around for Cam Scatabo. And then also his ASU football team lost to a weird Houston team. So it's just all bad news for him. Brian Dable's being fined $100,000, and then the Giants organization itself is being fined $200,000 for their interruption of the independent concussion specialist. That, wink, wink. It didn't have anything to do with Jackson Dart coming back into the game. Of course, everything was on the up and up there.
Yeah.
There was no intimidation provided by Brian Dable, but we are going to fine him.
Right. Did we hear? Now, I know that the NFL was looking into the injury report Lamar Jackson situation with Baltimore Ravens. Have we heard anything back on that yet?
I have not.
Yeah, because it was he was on the report, and then Saturday night, was it? After teams had already done all their planning and walkthroughs, then they're like, oh yeah, he's not playing. So I forget, who did Baltimore play? They play the
Cooper Rush. Oh, Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago. Yeah. And Chicago. and Chicago had planned all week for Lamar. And then they were like, yeah. So I believe there's going to be something happen there. We'll have to probably wait and see in upcoming weeks. But that is our news. We're going to talk a little bit about some of what happened this week when we talk about the games. And so we're going to get right into our rewind. And wouldn't you know, I hit that button and I still haven't pulled up last week's game. So somebody who has the games right up in front of them, what was our first game? It was the Thursday night game.
Minnesota versus
I don't think there was any game on Thursday night. So we'll start with Sunday morning. No, it was.
Hold on, we got to do it here.
I
win. I shouldn't have even left the I win in there. It was just the dough.
It was a big dough. 37-10 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. I despise Thursday night football, and that's not the reason why the Vikings lost, but it's just it's a ugly way to get into the weekend, and Minnesota never has any success on Thursday night football. This was no different. They played in this exact same stadium last year on Thursday night football and lost to the Los Angeles Rams. So now this brings them down to 3-4. Carson Wentz was not great, and he was also taking hits like we mentioned all night long, and probably might have been his last game in the NFL based on all of the treachery that Kevin O'Connell put him through. The Vikings couldn't get anything done on the ground, even though Aaron Jones was back. They rotated again, both Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, and none of them had any successful runs until the final drive when the Vikings were down 37-10. They had a 0% success rate in the ground game up until that point. And then the offensive line also now is continuing to deal with injuries. Christian Darrisaw played 9 snaps in this game. He is their stalwart left tackle, who's one of the more underrated left tackles in the league, and he has provided a huge difference whenever he is on the field, but he's still recovering from a torn ACL that he suffered on Thursday night football of last year at SoFi Stadium. We've also, it's just a quick side note, also in that stadium on Thursday night football, we once had a long snapper lose the edge of his pinky. So somewhere in the SoFi Stadium turf, never to be seen again.
You don't think it was ever seen
just,
again?
It's just weird stuff going on at SoFi on Thursday nights, where the Vikings just seem to be cursed. And then the defense really got a big play early. They had a pick six by Isaiah Rodgers. And then it was questionably overturned. I was not as sure about that one as I was sure that the previous week when TJ Hawkinson, his catch was overturned in the end zone at the end of that Eagles game. I was pretty sure that one was not a touchdown at that point. But in this case, I thought there wasn't enough conclusive stuff, but I digress. Minnesota still had a chance to stop that drive on 3rd and long a couple plays later. And then Justin Herbert just did what Justin Herbert does. We saw this in 2023 against the Brian Flores defense, where he just continued to pepper the middle of the field against Flores's safeties and linebackers and just took complete control. And it didn't help that the Vikings couldn't get any stops in the ground game either. So it was just a rough night all around for this team. Our kicker even missed a field goal because his foot hit the ground before a kick at the end of the first half. And it's an ugly spot right now for Minnesota. And really the silver lining is that right now your goal and your focus for the rest of the season is to see JJ McCarthy, and obviously for the rest of next season as well. I think you give him that long of a leash. And I mean, the good news is, if he performs well, then the Vikings, you would assume, perform well, and they're able to get out of a 3-4 rut. And you know, you're getting 2 positives right there from one good thing happening. And if he doesn't perform well, then it just gets even worse. So we sink further and further into the mire of despair. Which I hope is not the case, but we'll get a good 10 games to see what happens with JJ McCarthy, and knock on wood, hopefully he, leads the Vikings into the playoffs and brings them to the Super Bowl, just like the last Michigan quarterback in his second season in the NFL.
Got a lot of work ahead of you, as the Packers and the Lions both sitting with 5 wins. The Packers with 1 less loss than the Lions. And you're back there at 3-4. So, and you guys have not had a bye week yet, right? Let's see. No, wait.
We had our bye week after we got back from London. So Carson Wentz was basically playing with that shoulder injury for a month.
Everybody in the NFC North has had a bye week, haven't they? You're all done. From here on out, it's go time. So, but you're still sitting 2 games back from 2 teams that are looking pretty strong. We will get to those games in just a moment. Unfortunately, Vikings at 3-4, not the year you were hoping to have.
Yeah, no, and this was one of our contested games. I, of course, chose the Vikings. You chose the Chargers. So.
Oh, yeah. Wait, let's pull out the contested games for him here. I believe Matthew gets a circle there for the Chargers. I haven't done this yet. Behind a little bit, having everything on Tuesdays. I'm just not as prepared. We'll get there. But yes, there you go.
So the good news is the Vikings, I think, still technically control their own destiny, since they would have to, controlling your own destiny means you win out, and winning out would mean 2. Maybe it's not against the Packers, but against the Lions, they control their own destiny, where if they win out and beat the Lions twice, then they would obviously finish with a better record than the Lions. But that is a lot to ask your second year, basically rookie quarterback, especially with this defense that has not been up to snide so far this season. And we desperately need a nose tackle at the trade line. We need some 350-pound guy that can just take up space like Vita Vea does for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if Tavondre Sweat is available from the Titans, we will gladly take him. He's only in his second year, so I doubt they'd be willing to give up on him. But we need one of those big guys because we don't have anybody cementing the middle right now.
So I was kind of looking around online to see where today's topic is. Are you buying? Are you selling? Or are you watching? And you say buying.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to buy. I don't think there is any reason to sell for this team that is going to basically be together for at least these 2 years with JJ McCarthy on a rookie contract. Even if you're not fully buying for this year, it's still a buy for next season, where all these contracts work. And if these players can play to their potential, you have a what should be on paper at least a good team around JJ McCarthy. Now there have been, Jonathan Allen has been good, but Javon Hargrave has not really lived up to what I think we thought he could be, especially in the run game. He's kind of getting eaten alive every single time he's out there. And yeah, so I think the Vikings need to buy, because I think in order to truly evaluate what this team can be with JJ McCarthy at quarterback, you need to get as many pieces on both sides of the football. And one of those would be a nose tackle, and the other would be a nickel corner. I've long had eyes for Alontae Taylor over in New Orleans, and all that he is able to do. He seems like he could be a realistic option because he does a lot of what Brian Flores likes to do, which is send those corners on blitzes from the outside. He once had 3 sacks in a game, so he, I think, would fit in really well with this Vikings team. So my wish list right now consists of Alontae Taylor and Tavondre Sweat.
And those are both nose tackles.
No, so Tavondre Sweat is the nose tackle, and then the nickel cornerback is
both on defense.
Alontae Taylor, yes.
So I've seen people talking online about the fact that you guys are at like an iffy point right now. Are you buyers or are you sellers? And if you're buyers, they're saying the biggest need is on offensive line, which is crazy to me considering you bought 2 free agent offensive line from the Colts in the offseason. Of course, right now it seems like your offensive line is still pretty damaged, and they're saying O'Neal hurt. Maybe you're in the market for that, or a veteran linebacker. So the linebacker there. But then they talk about like the fact that you could be selling, and the people they mentioned you could be selling. Let me run these by you, see what you think of that. TJ Hawkinson, they said, a surprise name, but one that has a large contract with 3 years left on it. And if you're truly at a place where you're like, maybe this isn't the year, do you jettison that so you can start rebuilding around JJ? They talk about running back Aaron Jones, because you guys have a crowded backfield. And if they commit to a youth movement, maybe this is one that can be let go. And then they talk about 2 defensive tackles, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, expensive veterans who haven't quite lived up to expectations. That's what they're saying. What do you think about those sell possibilities?
Yeah, I could see the Vikings certainly selling all of those players, because I don't know how big into the future they need to be for a JJ McCarthy team. I wouldn't want to get rid of Jonathan Allen. I would definitely entertain the possibility of getting rid of Javon Hargrave, which is crazy because during the offseason, I liked the Hargrave signing more than I liked the Jonathan Allen, but Allen has just been a step above what Hargrave has been able to bring. And TJ Hawkinson, if there is a team that even if we are going to go fully in on buying, I would be fine with selling TJ Hawkinson because and maybe not Aaron Jones, but I think Jordan Mason has been running the football better than Aaron Jones this season, who looks like he's slow to step down from where he was at last year. But also he hasn't been completely healthy this whole season. So I don't think I want to get rid of Aaron Jones, because I still like the idea of having that 2-headed backfield. But TJ Hawkinson, yeah, I would not mind getting rid of him, mostly because that would mean Josh Oliver would be in for more snaps on offense, and he is a great blocking tight end, so he can help on the offensive line. And we have the weapons where you don't necessarily need TJ Hawkinson to be a premier weapon. When you have Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, even like Jalen Naylor, if you watch the film, has been beating guys all season long, but nobody's been able to get him the football because our quarterbacks have been taking pressure. So, and then Adam Thielen, we have a veteran that can get all that stuff underneath. So yes, if TJ Hawkinson goes, I could still see the Vikings being buyers despite letting go of TJ Hawkinson.
Okay. So we're going to do this with each Homer team as we get to them, but we're going to go to the next game. We're going to move away from that cursed Thursday to the nice Sunday game, starting us off with the Dolphins and the Falcons. I believe, is that the next one? Yeah, Dolphins and Falcons. I believe we all picked the Falcons to win this one because Dolphins are the Dolphins, right? They're not going to win this. They only had 1 win. Oh my goodness. We all were wrong. Dolphins won.
And to our credit, we didn't know that Michael Penix was not going to start.
True. You did have Kirk Cousins, I believe, and it did not look good. And I heard some people earlier saying, if JJ doesn't work out, are they going to bring Kirk Cousins back to the Viking? I bet after that showing, the answer is a solid no.
Yeah, and really, I mean, like the Falcons have been sitting on Kirk Cousins for this exact moment. So unveiling him here
Was
at
the
this wrong
worst thing they
time,
could do.
it's like you have gotten a guitar that was passed down from your grandfather, and it was the Eddie Van Halen's guitar, and it's signed and everything, and people have given you offers, but you can get more for it, so you go to get it authenticated, and then you find out no, it's your grandpa bought this in 2007 at Guitar World, and in fact the receipt is still on it.
This isn't Kurt Warner. This is Kirk. I mean, this
Yes.
isn't Kirk Cousins. This is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So that's what you're getting now. If you get Kirk Cousins, is you don't get the Eddie Van Halen guitar, you get the knockoff brand, the one that nobody has actually used and that your grandpa lied to you about and told you was a Eddie Van Halen guitar.
It did not look good for the Falcons again. And I said when we were picking last week, I'm like, the Falcons have befuddled me. Unless they befuddle me again, I don't see how the Dolphins can win. Well, I've been befuddled because the Dolphins did come out and win. And was Tua even playing the whole game?
I mean, he didn't have to. Like, he was healthy for the whole game, but it
wasn't a benching halfway through. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because they brought in Zach Wilson.
The worst part of all of this is this, and I just got to say it. Because of that stinking win, Mike McDaniel is not going to be fired this week, which was my prediction that it was the week 8 and is not going to happen. Matthew was wrong.
Hey, week 9 hasn't started yet, Matthew. I'm just saying, you still have a couple days. They could fire him.
It seems hard
internally
for a team to be like, "Oh, we won, you're fired." Usually they wait for a loss and then it's like you're done.
Yeah, unless you're Texas A&M. Yeah.
I think that the Dolphins are an interesting team in that they are not bad enough to be like a team that every single team that goes up against them on their schedule can completely cross off and mark as a win. They're not that bad, but they're also not good enough to be a playoff team. But they're good enough to beat playoff teams and maybe cause some chaos on a one-off week.
Well, they caused some chaos in our picks, but luckily this was not a contested pick. We all thought they would lose, so it didn't really hurt the score too badly. But then we moved to the next one, which was a contested game. That was Bears-Ravens, and I said, well, of course the Bears are going to beat the Ravens. But 2 other people in this podcast said, no, sir, it's the Ravens who are going to win. I'm like, I don't know, especially if they don't have Lamar Jackson. Oh, they did not have Lamar. What in the world? 30-16. Looks like the Bears just laid an egg. Well, they didn't lay an egg, but they sure did hurt my little standings there because I got that one wrong. You guys got that right. And
never
Brandon
bank on the
happy.
Bears.
Brandon seems extremely happy. I can't understand why.
Just to me, the greatest play of this game, right? The Bears are inside their own 10-yard line on offense, and Caleb Williams just makes the dumbest read a quarterback can ever make. It just throws the ball right to the defender. And I cried a little bit. It was beautiful.
Cried out of satisfaction and laughter, yeah, kind of a mix of
like
the beauty of it.
It's like the first time you see the Grand Canyon, you're like, wow, this is quite something.
Well, the Ravens did without Lamar. They did beat the Bears, and they kept a slim hope alive for themselves. 2-5. That division, as we saw this week, not unbreakable. They could come back from that and that 1-5 start and actually still win this division. As crazy as that sounds right now.
And they control their own destiny now, too, because they're 2 games back of the Pittsburgh Steelers and haven't played the Pittsburgh Steelers in either of those 2 games. So it is a very doable thing. And their defense, kind of sneakily these last 2 weeks, has been getting a lot better. And I know it was against the Bears, and they're still kind of figuring things out on the offensive side of the football. But DeAndre Swift had looked good in the prior 2 weeks, and they kind of shut him down. And it's really just Kyle Hamilton doing everything, run fitting, getting pressure, and then also dropping back into defensive coverage. He had a really good game against the Chicago Bears. And the Ravens defense might be back, and that would bode well for their hopes for the rest of the season.
Like I said, they control it. Let's see if they can take control and make it there. The next game, Bills-Panthers. This was almost a contested game. I was for the Bills, and Josh was almost foolishly for the Panthers, but then he realized Andy Red Rocket. What's his last name?
Dalton.
Dalton.
Not Red Rocket. Red Rifle.
Red Rifle. Red Rocket. What's Red Rocket? I don't know what that
It's
is.
Not for the podcast. It's not
Yes.
for the podcast.
Yeah, not for the podcast. Red Rifle playing was not inspiring confidence for him. He said, no, sir. And we all went with the Bills. And of course, the Bills did spank the Panthers 40-9.
Good job, James Cook. Like James Cook, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like it was a pretty standard beatdown by Buffalo.
Yeah.
And they needed it. They had played kind of poorly the last 2 games, especially on the offensive side, and now they take a big step forward and look good again. And they have a test against the Chiefs coming up.
They've got to keep winning just to keep up with New England right now. So
yeah,
they're feeling it for the first time in a while. Jets Bengals, was this a contested? No, this was not a contested. We all said the Bengals were going to win this one. The Jets got it. 1 point. Justin Fields felt his. It's funny how everybody's like, Justin Fields, do you feel? And they're celebrating in the locker room like crazy. It's one win. Aaron Glenn's in there smiling and laughing. Everybody's holding him up. They just didn't want to go winless. But it's funny how big the celebration is over the Bengals by 1 point win. Jets.
Yeah, and coming into this game, Tyrod Taylor was supposed to start, and Tyrod Taylor might be one of the most cursed quarterbacks ever because he got a knee injury during practice and had to sit out. And this is also the same guy who was supposed to start the 2020 season opener for the Los Angeles Chargers and then had like a lung puncture or something when he was getting a shot. And that led to Justin Herbert, taking the reins.
Yeah.
So Justin Fields, like, this was not a Justin Fields win. This was a run the ball Breece Hall sort of win. In fact, Breece Hall threw the game-winning touchdown pass to Mason Taylor. Fields looked every bit as bad as he did in London, except the Denver Broncos had cornerbacks that could catch up to Fields' late reads, and the Bengals did not. So even when Fields was late and he has this long extenuated release, he still had those guys open. But I would still be wary of Justin Fields moving forward if I was a Jets fan.
Yeah, and the truth is the Jets have lost a lot of games that were super high scoring, and what that really tells me is nobody has a defense here. Bengals don't have a defense. Jets don't have a defense. That's just what we're seeing.
Yeah, and it was the Bengals. The Bengals have Trey Hendrickson. That's their defensive play.
They need to get rid of him. They need to just get rid of him, I think. That's what I would do if I were them.
They blew an opportunity too. Like, this was a game that if you're wanting to stay in this, and if Joe Burrow can be back in the middle of December, which is, by the way, the earliest that he would be back from the turf toe injury, like, this was a game that you probably needed to win, and you had this game up 14 in the fourth quarter, and the defense let you down. So this is definitely a back-breaking loss for the Cincinnati Bengals, where they could have gotten, I think, up to 500 if they had won this game at 4-4, and they would have been a half game behind the Steelers.
Well, Steelers would have also, we know, once they saw the Steelers lose, they would have been tied at 4 games apiece, right? Or are the Steelers at 5?
The Steelers would have the half game lead because they have one less game and they have the loss, but they would both have 4 wins, and it would have been a good opportunity. The good news is Joe Flacco is still playing well for them, so they might be able to tread water a little bit more than we expected than when they had Jake Browning back there.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. 49ers, Texans. I believe this was a contested game also. Matthew said, I have bet against the 49ers for several weeks and lost those contested wins because I keep saying they're going to lose. It's got to catch up to him sometime. I'm like, no, they're not tricking me again. I'm voting for the 49ers. You guys both said, nah, Texans are taking this one. Texans took this one. Matthew again misses out. Houston wins. CJ Stroud suddenly, everybody's talking about him again. Everybody's feeling good. I still don't feel great about that offensive line. They may have looked okay here, but I'm not sold yet on Houston. 49ers, though, they lost one. It finally caught up to them.
Yeah, breaking that 3-way 5-2 tie at the top of the division, because I think the other two teams were off. But
Yeah, they all still have 5 wins, but now the 49ers have an extra loss.
yeah. And I think this could be a reset game for the Houston Texans, where all of the frustrations from that Seattle Seahawks loss on Monday Night Football kind of boiled over, and they really just got back to the basics. And they knew that they had a top scoring defense in the league. Entering the game, they had a top scoring defense. I think exiting the game, they still have the top scoring defense. So really, you just want to keep the ball out of your opponent's hands, and you want to get points you want to get the ball moving on the ground, so you can at least get in field goal range and force the team, your opponent, to play catch up with you against your top tier defense. And that's essentially what they did. I think the 49ers had the ball for 5 minutes in the first half, and Houston took a 13-0 lead, which they were getting these 4 or 5 yard runs with Nick Chubb. And that allowed some play action. And when you get that play action, you get an extra beat if you are CJ Stroud. So it's kind of this piecemeal sort of offense right now that they are complementing with their elite defense. Their offensive line still looks bad in true pass rush sets, but if they can continue to run the ball with success, they actually finally started using some maximum protect packages as well, where they brought in tight ends in line and running backs. They haven't done that in the 2 years that their offensive line has been completely broken, but they did it in this case, and it worked out for them. So if they can continue to do that, and that's a tough way to win in the NFL, is just the bend but don't break, and also control the ball, because you can't win catching up in those sorts of games. If you get behind, it's tough to get back into the game. You always have to be playing with a lead. But if they are able to, that is the formula for success moving forward for the Houston Texans.
Well, let's just hope they don't get that success moving forward, because they are in the AFC South, and I don't even want them getting up there close. But I'm sure there are Texans fans who are very much hoping that that's the case. Go Browns Patriots. Now, the Patriots are getting a lot of talk right now because of their quarterback and their quarterback rating
Drake
for
May.
that quarterback. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they beat the Browns easily, 32-13. He scored whatever it is that's put him in such a high scoring bracket. Was it 200 yards something? I don't even know the stat that everybody keeps quoting, but basically he's doing something that's never been done, and
on a week by week basis. Yeah. And he threw 3 touchdowns in the third quarter alone. They only led 9-7 at halftime, and that was with a last second field goal. So they were actually trailing the Browns for most of that. And again, that's credit to the Browns, who we've discussed, I think, have a really good defense, but eventually the dam just breaks. And that, I think, is what happened with the Browns defense. And then, you're not going to be able to keep Drake May. Keep Drake May down. The most encouraging part is that Drake May faced a lot of pressure. I mean, Myles Garrett got him 5 times, and he was still delivering the football. A lot of times you can see guys shy away from that pressure. I mean, like CJ Stroud, we've talked about for the last 2 years, where he kind of he wilts more under pressure. Drake May was able to step up and show not only can he do this in the clean pocket, but he can do this with pressure coming down around him. So I like what I see a lot from Drake May.
And so does all of the Patriots fans, who are suddenly happy to be back in the conversation there in the AFC East after years of not being there. They are.
Who's the NFL fan that used to be a Patriots fan? Is he jumping back on the
Brandon Harris?
That's a good
Blake
question.
Faith. And Blake Faith.
Yeah, yes. we're gonna have to see about that. I will talk with one of them on Thursday night. I will give him a hard time and see if he pushes back against that. But probably jumping back on it and saying, "Oh yeah, I was never really a fan." But I was never really off of them as a fan. But we'll see. New York Giants. Eagles, we talked about this game a little bit because of the injury that happened to Cam in there, but the Eagles come in. We did see something here that we haven't seen in a while, and that was a very long opening touchdown from Saquon Barkley to put him back on track. and get that running game going again. And they just it seems like he always plays great against that team that let him go to the Eagles, and continues to make New York say, why would we ever let him go? Eagles beat the Giants. What did you guys think of this game?
Well, I didn't like the ankle bending the wrong way on my TV screen.
No,
that was not a sight that you'd want to see. But the Eagles' offensive line finally got some push in the ground game against a good Giants defensive line. And yeah, Jackson Dart kind of looked like a rookie in this one. He made some good throws, made some other kind of more questionable decisions, but kind of exactly where you expect Jackson's Dart to be at this point of his career. I think the big takeaway is that Eagles run game might finally get started. And Tank Bigsby also randomly had a great game running the football as well. They had I think a 2nd and 31 that he ran and picked up the first down for.
Yeah.
So and he was breaking tackles all over the place. He was living up to the Tank moniker. And if they can get him and Barkley going, and if that offensive line gets that same push that they got against the Giants for the rest of the season, then I think the Eagles are back at the pinnacle of where they were last year.
The Eagles still being the Eagles. Was this one? Oh, look at this. This was a contested game. Let's see. Matthew finally picks one right again. The Philadelphia pick by Matthew. I believe that's right. You guys picked the Giants in this one, right?
Well, I did. Yeah. But I think Brandon picked the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are tied at 2 apiece, but we still have one more contested game. Let's get down and see what happens down there in a moment. But first, we're going to hit Bucks and Saints. Buccaneers, after losing last week and kind of dropping behind the Colts a game. Saints getting a win in there somewhere, starting to feel some of their Wheaties. Oh, it was a complete beatdown again. And Baker Mayfield said, you know what? Let's show them all that we're still here. The Saints looked bad.
Both of these teams it was like an ugly football game because Baker Mayfield didn't throw the ball particularly well. He might be coming back down to earth. I don't think so, because he levitates above all quarterback ranking lists. But he has had 2 not great games in a row. The Buccaneers defense was the one that got the first touchdown. And it was just like the ball falling out of Spencer Rattler's hand. Or no, he threw it right to a defensive lineman that jumped up in front of him at the 2-yard line. And that lineman caught the ball and just walked in for a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a game that I would say that would be, in hindsight, the manure game of the week. It was not fun. I would rather see Cam Scadaboo's ankle turning outward for 60 minutes rather than watching that game again.
Oh, that's a statement.
That is a statement right there. So I don't think we need to say a lot more about that. The nice thing is the Buccaneers stay at 6-2. They're keeping up where they need to in that AFC South. They're obviously looking to win that division, no problem at this point. There's another team that's 6-2 in our next game that a lot of people weren't sure about to start the season, thought maybe they had a great defense, wasn't sure about this offense. The offense was looking pretty good against a hot offense. The Broncos beat the Cowboys 44-24. What happened to the Cowboys?
I think just the thing that's been happening to them every single game is their defense just gets absolutely torn apart. Bo Nix had I think his best throws of the year. He had some really nice throws, but Joe Milton probably had the best throw of the game for the Cowboys on their late garbage time touchdown, where he threw a pinpoint 40-yard pass into the bucket to Turpin of the Cowboys, who caught it for a touchdown. Like, oh, okay. Like, Milton is a guy that, for whatever reason, in training camp and in preseason games, looks completely terrible. But every time we've seen him in action in a regular season game, he's able to get the job done. And granted, it was probably against some of the second stringers for Denver. But the Broncos were able to run the ball at will, and that opened up everything for Bo Nix and the Broncos offense. And if that Broncos team can get the run game going like that on a consistent basis, I'm not so sure they will, because we have to obviously consider that it was against the Cowboys in this instance, and they really haven't been able to run the ball against anybody else. But if they can, moving forward, I think that offense becomes very, very difficult to stop. And the defense finally it's finally starting to look like the defense that we expected the Broncos to have at the beginning of this season. It's kind of been a slow roll into that, but they looked very, very good. And really stymied Dak Prescott all game. They picked him off twice and really gave him no windows to throw to.
Yeah, and Cowboys, they've been a high-powered offense, but they did come against that defense, and it came back down to earth hard. So Broncos they're going to be a tough team to beat just because of that defense and the offense getting better as they go. Maybe. The next game we have here is one where there is a very high-flying offense. That would be the Colts-Titans. Titans not the big offense juggernaut that the Cowboys have been in the last few weeks, and it shows here. So this was a game that, yes, the Colts should have won. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about this one first. This is a game the Colts should have won, and they did. And they did it 38 points. Again, they've been scoring, I think it was 32 is their average. They have scored... here's some stats that I'm sure you've heard everywhere now. They've scored 270 points. They've only allowed 154. They have the highest point differential by a lot, 116 differential. I think I don't have the list here in front of me, but it's so much more than the second place team. Here's an interesting stat somebody put up. Points per minute of possession for the whole season. Points per minute of possession, 1.09. Best in NFL history ever. Sure. I don't think I've ever thought about how many points per minute of possession that a team has gotten. Points per minute given by the defense, 0.66. Best mark ever recorded in the NFL. So, I mean, that would lead to a big differential, right? Scoring efficiency's been around 70 to 75% of the drives end in points. Points allowed per game, 19.3. That's second. They're beating the 2007 Patriots and the 2013 Broncos, both of which were high efficiency offenses. I remember I said 1.09 points per minute of possession. Well, the Patriots only had 1.03 with Randy Moss per minute of possession. And with Peyton Manning and those 2013 Broncos, 1.07. That was even higher, but both below the Colts. The Colts are out producing opponents by 65% per minute of possession. Because you guys have been wanting to know these per minute of possession stats, I know. So I've got them right here. The largest gap ever recorded. So it's combining an offensive dominance and the 2013 Broncos defensive control. And the 2000 Ravens, they beat both of those. So it's a pretty good showing so far. Now people will talk about the teams you've played so far. True. But they are putting up the points they should put up against bad teams. Every other team is also playing some bad teams and, should get some of those as well. We will get our hard game. Kansas City is coming. We've got Pittsburgh, which could be a tough team, could be a win. We'll see. That's coming up this next week. But here's some other stats for this. JT, Jonathan Taylor, had his fourth game of this season with 3 touchdowns. The record for that is 5 in a season by LaDainian Tomlinson. He's got one more, and he will tie that. He had his 3rd game in a row against the Titans with 3 touchdowns. So the last 3 times he's played the Titans, he's had 3 touchdowns in every game. First time that's ever happened in NFL history to play the same team and have 3 touchdowns in 3 consecutive games. Jonathan Taylor is running away points-wise. I think someone said his points per game, I can't remember, but something like 12.7 points per I can't remember. I should look it up, but I don't have it. Anyway, lots of points being scored. Jonathan Taylor is on a tear, and he is on track to beat the record holder LaDainian Tomlinson if he continues where he's going with number of touchdowns. He's at 15 already, I think, for this year through 8 games.
Unless he has a special team, I have 14 on Football Reference.
Okay, I thought I heard 15.
Or at least if he has a special teams
is
touchdown,
one,
or maybe I know he has two receiving, two rushing. Yeah, I've 14 for all touchdowns, but still, that is pretty close to pace for LaDainian Tomlin. That's what I'm rooting for the rest of the season, is that record to go down by Jonathan Taylor.
I would also like that. That would mean that we're playing the way we want to play, and we're able to be running to put the game away, which is a lot. He had, I think, an 80-yard touchdown in this one. I forget if it was I think it was considered a pass because Daniel Jones touched it and kind of popped it, and it went like 2 inches, and he took it instead of like taking it right out of his hands. Otherwise, it would have been a rushing touchdown. But basically, he grabbed it from Daniel Jones and ran 80 yards for a touchdown, which was his record for the year, maybe for longest touchdown he's ever had. Anyway, all good for the Colts. Playing the Titans again. I'm not going to get too excited because that was the Titans, but it should have been a win, and it was a win, and they've done it consistently with high scores every week, and they're doing it whatever opponents they come against, except for the Rams, which again, we're going to keep putting that little asterisk by the fact that A.D. Mitchell did what he did. Could have been a win. It could have changed the complexion of that game if he hadn't tossed it. We don't know. But very good Colts team. Still funny. I still will look up headlines, and everybody has mentioned except the Colts. This week we started getting a little more Colts stuff, but I still hear Kansas City, Detroit, Eagles before I hear the Colts almost every time. So I hope they continue to win and continue to make people shut their mouths and give them some respect. That's the Colts. I was pretty excited about that. Colts are the top of the NFL, 7-1, and Brandon looks like he has something he wants to say.
I've got a question for you, Matthew. What do we have for buy, sell, or stay?
Oh, yes. Buy, sell, or stay. I think if I'm the Colts, and I think everybody would agree with this, the Colts are buyers right now. The Colts are looking to push it in because lightning only strikes like this sometimes, and it struck. So you want to capitalize on that. And what we need are two positions. We need an edge rusher to go along with Leatu or whoever's our best edge rusher. We need another edge rusher who can really push from the other side. And we need a cornerback, and that's just because we've had so many injuries. Travaris Ward, good cornerback. Jalen Jones, good cornerback. But Jalen Jones has been gone almost all season, and Travaris Ward's been on IR for a couple games. He's still got a few to go. They will be back before the end, and that will be very, very good news for us. Kenny Moore came back, which was good as our nickel. But we could use another cornerback. And strangely enough, the names that kind of keep popping up are both Bengals lose guys that we have here as our defensive coordinator, Trey Hendrickson, and I don't know the cornerback, Britt something. I don't know too much about cornerbacks who are free right now, but knowing that he is a pretty aggressive one, I had his name somewhere.
Is it Cam Britt?
Cam Britt, yes.
I think so.
Yeah, here. Let me scroll. I wrote this down earlier.
Oh, Cam Taylor Britt.
Cam Taylor Britt. It was one of those hyphenated names, right? Yes, Cam Taylor Britt. And then also some people have been saying, oh, maybe the linebacker Logan Wilson, also a Bengals guy. Now here's the caveat is I keep talking about how the Bengals had such a bad defense. And yet here I am saying these three Bengals could come and help. I don't know why I'm even thinking that. I do think Trey Hendrickson is a good player.
Yes.
And I thought if they won, there's no way they're letting him go because they're seeing a chance to still stay in this division. They might still be there. But the fact is, they know that he is not going to want to be there once this contract is up. And so if they're hoping to get something for him, maybe the Colts could give him something for him. Second,
now
there's always
a price, Matthew, right?
There is.
That teams will say this person is non-negotiable, they're not going. And I'm going to throw Max Crosby in that conversation. I think that's mostly to inflate his price. What would you be willing to give up for Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson or one of these guys that is going to come in and be the de facto number one?
Easily a third-round pick. I would have no problem. Maybe a second-round pick. Maybe. Depending on the rest.
Would you do for Max Crosby 2 firsts?
2 firsts is a lot. Max Crosby's good though.
So
That would
what
be
if you
very
get
tempting because he's young too.
what if you also get like a third or fourth rounder back along you? So you give up the 2 firsts, you get the third and the third or fourth rounder, maybe like a third and sixth to go along with Max Crosby.
2 firsts. That would be 2 different years in a row first because we don't have 2 firsts next year. So
let me ask you this question: your past 2 first-round picks, or let's skip this past draft.
no way, because
So,
Tyler Warren has been a
2 and
huge
3.
piece of our offense. Having him
Well,
there.
skip Tyler Warren. That's this current year.
Let me think about who was
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
So
Are those
Anthony
2
Richardson
players,
would be one.
Anthony
are those 2
Richardson.
players worth more than Max Crosby?
Who was the other one?
Latu. I never.
Ooh, Leatu
know how to
Latu.
pronounce Latu.
Leatu Latu has been good, and I think he's going to continue to get better.
But is he Max Crosby good? Arguably defensive player of the year, Max Crosby.
He is
good.
not right now. No, he's younger than Max Crosby, right?
Probably by a year or 2.
I like Latu. I think he has a lot of potential, but I'm not sure he's quite at Max Crosby.
Let's not look at those last. I mean, if you look at the last 2, strangely enough, I started this year saying, dang it, Daniel Jones is a piece of trash. We need to start AR. We need to know what we got. He's either going to be like, he's going to get better and we're going to know it, or we're going to know he's no good. But I have come to the point where at where we're at now, I don't see how he ever gets the start over Daniel Jones. I just don't see how it ever goes back. So at this point, I was hoping we would be like dangling him as trade bait to get something back for him. And then he had to go and like snap a big rubber band onto his ocular region and snap it, and he's on IR. That doesn't help us because he's not going to be playing immediately for a team. It would only be if a team, it gives everybody else leverage that they, not that we had a lot of leverage sitting him anyway, but once, Daniel Jones starts to look good, so good, people might be able to convince themselves, well, maybe he's also, going to grow and we can do something with him that they couldn't, but I don't even know that we got that.
I don't know the exact rules behind this. Josh, you can fill us in. I don't think you can trade a player unless they pass a physical on the other team. So if they're on IR, you can't officially trade them until they're healed.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I'm sure there's a way that I think the NFL teams could agree to maybe like
to
bypass
wait.
But yeah, I mean, and it's an orbital fracture, so I mean, I think you'd be knowing that you'd have him for years to come. But it would definitely be a risk.
It's not his ACL. It's something that was a freak crazy accident, which was at the very wrong time. Now, Indianapolis is like, oh, we're not trading him. But I think that was like hey, let's see if we can increase, what
there's always a price.
Yeah. I don't think he is in our future plans right now. And unfortunately, now the nice thing is we could still keep him and trade him next year, but that means we have to keep him on a roster spot.
Here's the interest. I would keep him at least through this offseason because Daniel Jones threw 15 touchdown passes one season, not 50, 15, and was able to somehow convince the New York Giants to give him $40 million a year. So if you have that level of negotiator with the season that he's having now, how much money? I mean, he's going to be a hot commodity out there on the free agent market. I guess the Colts could always just franchise tag him, but that is kind of a risk. You're getting a guy that is known for going after them or maximizing his value and maximizing the contract that he can get.
But at the same time, he has maximized that and felt the pressure and like seen this may be a case where he has grown a little older and wiser. And he's like, I want a good contract, but I'm not pushing it that hard because the Colts seems to be a place where I'm working with Shane Steichen. It's like clicking. I would rather win at this point. I've got $140 million and I'll get more here, but I'd rather do it and win. that's all probably optimistic, wishful thinking, because who doesn't want the most money they can get? But I think it's going to be really hard for the Colts to move on from Daniel Jones, even if he's demanding a huge price, because the fan base has been smitten. Even those who were like calling him trash at the beginning of the year. This guy right here has started to think, man, Daniel Jones with Shane Steichen is a great matchup. And this team was a good team. They just needed a quarterback, and this looks like the kind of quarterback we needed, much to my chagrin. And every time I say anything, I'm just giving Brandon Harris more and more ammo to use against me. I did go to him and tell him I was wrong, and he was right, that I was stupid, that he was smart, that I was not attractive, and that he was very good looking. So we got that out of the way. But and back to your question, I would love to get Max Crosby. I think, man, would that push this team over the top? I think it I think it would, especially if we get back Javarius Ward and Jalen Jones. That's just going to be tough for anybody to beat. But I don't know that we'll get that chance to even make that. Now, here's the thing. Would Ballard make a deal like that? Oh, he might, because he was sitting on a really, really hot seat at the beginning of this year. And if he did something that would get us to a Super Bowl, that would keep him around. I mean, he may even be around as it is right now. He's very much hanging back, staying out of the spotlight, keeping his name quiet, which is a very smart thing to do. You don't want to be talking about the best thing a GM can have is for nobody to be talking about him except for what great picks he made. And he's made some picks that have worked out, and he's made some picks that haven't worked out. But right now, he made a move for a Daniel Jones, and everybody's feeling the love right now. So would I trade two first? It'd be really tough. Luckily, I'm not the GM like you. I don't have any ownership in this. I have nothing. So I'm just going to sit back and hope that we get a Trey Hendrickson or a Max Crosby for some price. And if we don't, well, I guess we just got to keep trying to do what we're doing.
What if you get maybe a tier below Crosby and get either Josh Sweat from the Cardinals or Bryce Huff from the 49ers, both guys who are good, but not quite at that level. And it's more of 1 or 2 middle to late round picks.
It would depend on how. I don't know where they rank against like a Quiddy Pay and some of the other guys we got there. That I don't want another. If we're just going to get another mid round who's like okay, no. But
I think you got to make the splash for the superstar. I really do.
I think it's a splash. You swing for the fence, because this is not going to happen every year. And the truth is, if they do that and we get to a Super Bowl. Just get to, not even saying win, probably very unlikely we're keeping all these pieces together anyway, unfortunately, because we just don't have the cap space for all the people who are coming up with a contract need. And so I want to live a year I love. Would I love to keep it together forever? Yeah. Heck yeah. I'd love to see Jonathan Taylor stay a Colt for the rest. And, the truth is, here's a stat I forgot to tell you. He tied Lenny Moore for most Colts touchdowns, 63. He's one behind Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James has 64 for his career. JT's at 63, and he is younger and got a lot more ball left in him. I think he's going to pass that. And yes, I would love for him to, and I think he very well could get a contract that keeps him a Colt for a long time, if not the rest. The rest is hard to say anymore in today's NFL, but for a long time. And I think Daniel Jones is going to get some consideration, and I think that's going to leave some other people out. Alec Pierce, I think, is like one of those that has a contract coming up next year who might get away from us, and we might have to replace him. And there's more, but we don't need to talk about all that right now. But I do agree with Brandon. I want to swing for the fences. I'm hoping next Tuesday when we're on this podcast that some amazing news happens for the Colts. I'm very ready for it not to also.
I'm going to go bold, and I'm going to guarantee Trey Hendrickson to the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh, that's a bold one. That's a
guarantee.
A guy that wants out of Cincinnati, a guy that is not under contract next season, so won't cost as much in terms of picks. and offers you the roster decision flexibility for next season. As a Colts fan, it's going to be Trey Hendrickson. We'll be talking about it leading off the show next week on Tuesday.
I like where your brain's at, but you were also the guy who guaranteed me that AR would be the MVP, I think. Maybe
Yes,
you didn't guarantee it, but you did say it pretty strongly.
It's the kiss of death. Anything I say is the kiss of death on this podcast. So it's like in The Godfather, when Al Pacino gives his brother a kiss and then he ends up getting killed on the boat.
Yeah,
that's basically what I just did right there.
Well, let's move. As much as I love talking about the Colts all day long, and I do believe they should get more talk time with the national media, and I think they will eventually. They get there to where the East Coast bias can't like push them out of the way, right? All these New York producers over there. But let's move to the number one team in the NFC. And their game, that was a nice reunion game. One, Jordan Love going back to meet Aaron Rodgers. Talk to us, Brandon. What'd you think about this? Oh, by the way, I just have to say this was a contested game. I believe Matthew said the Packers were going to win. Oh, barely pulled out the tiebreak there. We were 2-2. Josh thought the Steelers would do this, and they did not. So Matthew gets 3 out of, 5? Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said 5 is my magic number, and I did. Anyway, so.
Well, let's hop into Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night.
A game. Oh, my gosh. They had us in the first half. I'm not going to lie. Anyone remembers this first half? Brandon McManus missed 2 field goals. And, he was short on one.
I thought of you every time. I thought of you because you've had such kicking woes for the Green Bay Packers, and you have been very vocal about the kicking woes that your team has had.
Yeah, and I thought McManus was going to fix that. And last season he did. He really did. And I know he went out on a quad injury. There were a couple reasons the announcer said, well, maybe it's the softness of the field out there in whatever they're calling their new stadium. I still refer to as Heinz. And maybe some of that is true, right? He did just come off of a right thigh injury. That's a major muscle in your leg. It's important for kicking. Yeah. The grass might have been a little soft. It was pretty torn up. Pitt played there yesterday, college football. They share the same stadium.
Or the day before, yeah.
Yeah, the day before the game, as if I just watched the Packers game 30 minutes ago. Right?
Again for the 6th time. No.
That's right. And so the first half was not overly pretty, right? We got some good pressure on the defensive front. We almost had an Edgerrin Cooper interception on Aaron Rodgers, a rare Aaron Rodgers interception, by the way. Does not throw interceptions to linebackers very often. And it was literally 2 inches off of his fingertips, but his arm was in the way that the receiver couldn't see the ball. The ball hit the receiver's hands and bounced onto the ground. Going into halftime, I was quite concerned. This was not looking good. Packers went 3 and out far too many times in the first half, and they couldn't get anything rocking and rolling until a savior emerged from us on offense. Tucker Kraft, number 1 receiver in the NFL this week, 143 yards. And some of those were definitely they weren't Hail Marys. I can't say that, but they were definitely prayer balls. 15, 20 yards. I don't call that a Hail Mary. Jordan was just under pressure, and he said, you know what? Tucker Kraft's somewhere on this field, and someone's just watching him too intently and not seeing where this ball is. So Jordan would just heave it up. Tucker Kraft caught it, and then no one tackled him. He could just run. It was amazing just to watch Tucker Kraft. He also did quite well in the blocking game. Christian Watson returned this week. He had another big, not Hail Mary, but I'll call it a prayer ball, 45 yards or something. Again, Jordan just pressure in his face. You see the safety just lay out trying to intercept it, not even coming close to touching the ball. And Christian Watson makes a big play on it was either 3rd or 4th down. It was pretty aggressive play calling by Matt LaFleur and play decision by Jordan Love. Micah Parsons in this game recorded a rare Aaron Rodgers sack. He has not had too many times when he played for the Cowboys and Aaron played for the Packers. where he actually sacked Aaron, and Aaron kind of recognized that. You got the classic Aaron Rodgers smirk that Matthew despises, because like everyone knows the smirk I'm talking about.
We know the smirk.
Yeah, but Parsons got 1 sack, and then he had an almost second sack / fumble. Aaron knew Micah was not too far behind him and just pitched the ball out of bounds. He's like, I'm getting rid of this. And the moment he pitched the ball, like a millisecond later, Micah touched his hand. And so it was literally that close. And Aaron turned around, he saw it was Micah Parsons, and you got this like legend stare from 2 great football players, which was probably my all-time favorite moment of the game. There was just respect on both sides, offense and defense. Jordan Love was the top quarterback in terms of yards this week, 360 yards.
That's a lot.
Second half for Jordan was unbelievable. Savion Williams got his first touchdown in the NFL. We believe Matthew Golden is a little bit upset right now. He has deactivated his Instagram account.
Oh, wait, so really?
He did. He did deactivate it. I don't know if it's because people were hopping in his DMs or if he was upset. Probably a multitude of all of the above. So he's taking a break from social media. He's focusing on himself. He's still getting really good separation in this game, and he was wide open in the end zone. Jordan Love missed him for a touchdown. Jordan Love did throw an incomplete pass to the corner of the end zone rather than Matthew Golden,
one of his
literally
few.
standing where no one was going to touch him. And then Brandon McManus came out and missed the field goal. Matthew Golden, a little bit upset right now. I think there's good opportunity for game planning in him this upcoming week against the Panthers. Secondary, I'm not overly fond of making sure they keep me awake at night, right? I think we'll do okay there. But I was pleased with this game overall. I labeled it as my marquee game, and I think it lived up to a marquee hype. Aaron came out after the press conference and basically gave praise to Jordan Love and the coaching staff for going out there and playing a good game. And there was some good memories that Aaron had flooding through his mind, probably after a little bit of awareness of how the Jets organization treated him and how their ownership and management was very poor. He has some different appreciation from the Packers at this point. So that's where I'm at. Buy, sell, or stay for the Packers. Packers already bought Micah Parsons. I will never stop bringing that up. As long as Micah is producing great stuff, which he is, and I think he has the most quarterback pressures so far this season, sitting around 44 or so. I'm going to continue to praise it. And Matthew, I brought up the 2 first-round picks because that's what the Packers traded for someone like Micah Parsons.
True. And it made a huge difference. Huge difference.
It did. Rashawn Gary did have 2 sacks, 2.5 maybe, depending on some creative accounting on the back end. 2 definitive sacks for sure from Rashawn Gary, and he is making a big difference. And I had to go back during this Micah Parsons trade, and I had to think, all right, who were our before this draft, who were our last 2 first-round picks and what impacts have they had? One of them was Jordan Morgan, and the other one was, I don't remember, but Micah Parsons is definitely above both of those players.
In your case, it was a much easier decision if you look at those last 2 first-round picks. Yeah,
and so far it's working out beautifully. And I'm very happy that he's a Green Bay Packer for the next 4 seasons, and he just has this drive that kicks him into a second gear. And when you see it, you know. And I have to bring up the sack he got on Aaron Rodgers. He was triple covered. Like, that just, man, the smile on my face, the smile, because he honestly, because they don't give you the full defensive like overview when you're watching the game on TV. They only give you like the defense and offensive line and the quarterback and running back. You don't see what route the receivers are running down the field. You don't see how the coverage is looking. And so when I'm watching the Packers on defense, I'm quite honestly only looking for Micah Parsons. Like I don't need to see anything else because my soul is being rejuvenated watching Micah get
they also
triple covered
They didn't put the camera on you to show the smile on your face. They just showed the offensive line and defensive line and quarterback.
That's right. So
you did
Packers
have,
bought.
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if we need to buy anything else at this point. I mean, the secondary is a little light. Carrington Valentine had one heck of a game. Oh my gosh. Kudos to whoever the Pittsburgh receiver was that caught the ball, took 3 steps, and then the ball got knocked out. I mean, he was fighting. He was fighting that entire game. And he had one penalty against him. Nothing too major. I thought it was more of a veteran move penalty because someone was going to beat him. You take the penalty rather than give the touchdown, and go from there. But I would like to see another member of the secondary, probably a corner that can play. And on the outside, I'm not totally sold on Keyshawn Nixon at the moment, but I'm not sure what the Packers could give in terms of compensation or players to go and get that guy. Our big splash was Micah Parsons. And I'm perfectly content with Micah Parsons.
I would be too if I were you.
We got to play a little bit tighter. Matt LaFleur is wanting to do this aggressive zone, and with a pretty decent front four that we were operating on the defense.
How about
you
your
can get to the quarterback?
Line? You feel okay with that?
I feel okay with the offensive line. A couple injuries kind of shook it, but I don't feel like Jordan's not getting enough time. I feel like he's getting right at that sweet spot. Right at the sweet spot. And they do a good job bringing other people to help support the offensive line, whether it's Christian Watson coming into block, which he had a few good blocks, Josh Jacobs coming in, or Tucker Kraft or Luke Musgrave. All of those guys are being supported. Matt LaFleur is, as we all know, genius at scheming up success for his players. He knows what their strengths are. He knows what their weaknesses are, and he pairs them together to try to have optimal plays on every play.
Well, you had Jordan Love with 20 plus 1 receptions in a row, right? Completed receptions. The plus 1 is it was a 2-point conversion, which doesn't count in the stats. So they only give him 20. I think 25 is the record right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4 quarterbacks have that. But
yeah,
he was,
20 was the Packers record.
Yeah,
with
Brett
Favre.
Brett Favre, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So always good when you get something like that where they get to mention a Brett Favre in a game with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. You just get the triumvirate there. The only one you're missing is Bart Starr. If they could have just been saying some stuff about Bart Starr in there, you'd been feeling it, right?
Yeah, playoff success. That's where Bart Starr is
Well,
for the Packers.
You got a ways to go.
You got
to get
2.
there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's move on then to our last and final game, and that was the Monday night game, Chiefs Commanders. I believe we all thought the Chiefs would win. Oh, surprise, surprise! The Chiefs did win. Commanders didn't have Jaden Daniels. They had Marcus Mariota, who, man, when I was watching the beginning of that game, he just looked so stiff. He just looked so standing up straight and like hardly seemed like he was moving. They were doing okay at the beginning of the game, and I thought, if they're doing okay at the beginning of the game, if the Chiefs play like this against the Colts, we could beat this. But then the Chiefs went and did what Chiefs do, and Travis Kelce became their all-time scorer. Did he pass?
Yeah,
Priest Holmes?
Priest Holmes. Yeah,
yeah.
With his touchdown.
I kind of got tired of listening to stuff by then because I love the Chiefs so much. But the Commanders, on the other hand, things aren't looking as good for them this year as they have in past years. And I think they could be one, if we have to do the whole buy, sell, or watch, they could be ones that are actually in sell mode at this point, looking at like, okay, who are some people we might say, let's get rid of this. I don't know who they would sell, but they might be at that place. They need some help for Daniels, especially is we lost Brandon. Let's get him back in here so we don't have that crazy split. If is Terry McLaurin done with his contract this year?
I thought they signed him because he was holding out to a little bit of an extension.
So that might not be as bad as I thought it was. I heard some people saying they might be looking to buy someone like Brian Thomas from the Jags. I don't know if that would happen or not, but they definitely they need something on that. Debo Samuels joined him this year, and I thought he was going to make a huge difference. Hasn't made the huge difference. He's been in there some, but they've got some stuff they need to do. But regardless, the Chiefs were the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are doing what the Chiefs do, and that is coming back from an 0-3 start and looking like, oh yeah, we're surely going to take this division and go right to the Super Bowl. So maybe only one or two AFC teams could step in the way of them. Maybe one of them belongs to somebody on this podcast, and belongs, I mean, I own them. Okay, I don't really own them, but I'm hoping that the Colts can keep winning and keep that disparity. The problem is, the nice part is, if we can keep winning and they can start winning, we're not going to play them in the first round. If they can get their division and we can get our division, at least we'll have one game off. Well, hopefully, if we get number 1 seed, we have a bye. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Brandon Harris was predicting that the Colts would be in the first round as the 4 seed, playing the 5 seed Chiefs. And I told him, Brandon, shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, he also told me that the Packers were going to miss the playoffs and it wasn't going to be close.
So, you guys, if you're wondering why we give so much lip service to this Brandon Harris, I don't know. I don't know why we continue to talk about him, but he's a guy we know.
For a long enough fans, you'll know we had the Blake Harris corner at one point in the podcast, which is a combination of Blake Faith and Brendan Harris, 2 former co-hosts that were big Patriots fans that immediately turned on them the moment Tom Brady left. And so that was our controversy corner.
I'm gonna keep an eye on them this year. If they go back to the Patriots as fans, man,
we're bringing the Blake Harris corner back.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on then to our picks. And I don't even have. Oh yeah, here we go. Get our music for the picks and predictions for the upcoming game. I got to get over here to my Week 9 lineup. I'm just behind on everything. Whoa, get up there and click on it. Okay, so Ravens Dolphins. Is that right? Ravens playing a Thursday night game against the Dolphins. Okay.
Yep.
Well, a couple of 2-win teams. Both won this last week. What do you think, guys?
Oh, Ravens, hands down. I mean, especially if Lamar Jackson is back. Otherwise, it's going to be the Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley revenge game, because he was took some starts with the Dolphins last week. But I'm gonna go Ravens.
Ravens.
I also am going to keep this uncontested, and I'm going to choose the Ravens because I think the Dolphins are junk, and I think Mike McDaniel should be fired this year. I wanted it by week 8. It still could happen before this game, but unlikely. Maybe after this game. Maybe I was off by a week. How about the Bears-Bengals?
I don't think you have to ask me my opinion on this.
Well, no, we don't. But what about you, Josh? This is a little bit of a toss-up game. You got Joe Flacco in there. They're trying to win. Maybe they don't have Trey Hendrickson for this one.
I'm going to go Bears.
They would still have Trey for this one, wouldn't they?
Unless I trade him before. Unless right now, maybe I guaranteed, because I saw Twitter, but I didn't see a tweet. But that could happen. I'm going to go with the Bears because I just don't trust the Bengals defense at all.
It's a tough one for me because Joe Flacco, he lost his first game, but he won his second one against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He only lost by a point to the Jets. It very easily could have been a second win in a row for him. And the Bears have been up and down. I know I voted for the Bears last week. I just want us to have some contention in this game. I'm going to go Bengals win this one, and therefore they decide not to trade Trey Hendrickson, and I'm really sad. That would be bad, right? But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bengals, and you guys are. Oh wait, Brandon's with me, right?
Yeah. Oh,
but you're picking the Bears, Josh.
To be fair, I don't know if I'm as much with Matthew as I am against the
Bears. All right, I see how it is. All right, Vikings, Lions. Let's let Josh start this one.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy's first game back in Michigan after he led with the Michigan Wolverines to a national championship. Dan Campbell had a lot of good things to say about him today. He said that game against the Bears told me everything I need to know about him. I assume that's complimentary. I hope it's not derogatory. But I'm going upset. I'm going Minnesota Vikings. Let's go.
We got us a contention because I'm going Lions on this one. JJ's first game back in a long time. I don't think he's going to be feeling the groove. The rest of that team hasn't been feeling the groove. Even if they start to build on things, I don't think it's this week against the Lions. So sorry, Josh. I'm going Lions.
Lions.
But I like that you're picking the Vikings. You gotta do that for your team. You've got to.
Yes.
Panthers, Packers. Oh, it's a tough one, right? Tough one. Oh, I'm going Packers on this one.
Coming back to Lambeau. Yeah.
And the only semblance of a chance that the Panthers would have is if Bryce Young would come back, and even then, I don't think they'd have much of a chance. So I'm going to go Packers.
Okay. Broncos, Texans. You guys said this could be the reset for the Texans. They could be coming back, but the Broncos went out there and did their D on D and their D on Dallas. Get that. And then they also scored a lot. Who do you think on this one?
Oh boy. I'm going to go Houston. I'm going to go Houston because I do worry about what Nick Bonito is going to do to CJ Stroud against that Texans offensive line. But I'm going to say that the Houston Texans defense is able to figure out Bo Nix a little bit more. And I will put my eggs in the CJ Stroud basket.
I am choosing to put my eggs in a different basket. And that basket belongs to the Broncos because I think mostly because of that defense that has been looking good. Now, Texans also have a good defense. So it really is the battle of the defenses disrupting the offenses here. So you're saying Stroud's going to do better than Bo Nix when they come against these tough defenses. I think the Texans are a tougher defense, but the Broncos have also been looking a little better on offense. I'm going with the Broncos.
I'm going Broncos.
Okay. Got us a contention. Patriots, Falcons. I'm guessing we don't have a contention here. Even if Penix is back, I'm still going Patriots. They're just playing really good right now. Drake May, he's been getting lots of talk, but it's because he's playing it. He's doing it. He's been doing it week after week. I think he does it against the Falcons.
Yep, give me the Patriots.
Okay. 49ers, Giants. Do we still have the holdout for the Giants winning that Josh has been doing all year? Or do we believe the 49ers are going to bounce back after that game that they lost?
I'll start this one.
Okay.
Give me the Giants.
Oh, he says it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Giants. And this one is not out of the blind faith anymore. Out of the last 8 weeks were all blind faith. This one is I have put the blind faith aside, and I just don't know if the 49ers and Mac Jones can get it done against the Giants defensive line. So I guess I'm going one more week with the Giants.
Do I make play next week?
Do I make this contentious or do I continue to doubt the 49ers? Like last week was the first time I'm like, I guess I can't vote against them. And they proved me wrong. I could have, I should have, I would have, but I didn't. This week, I'm going Giants as well, because I do believe that while Cam Scatterbo gave him a pump, I don't think he was so necessary as Joe Dart. And I think Joe Dart, along with the running backs they have there, can still do what they do, and that defense can still be strong. I'm going Giants as well, so we're not contentious there. Steelers, Colts. Oh,
and next week, just so everyone knows, I'm also going to go Giants. They're going to be in Chicago.
You're just going to put that out now.
I want everyone to know my 2-week prediction.
Should we just look at the final 8-week prediction? Bears lose. Not for the Giants, for the Bears. I was going.
That's right.
Colts, Steelers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going Colts with this one.
Brandon.
I want the contention. I'm going to go Steelers.
He's going Steelers. Now, he's not part of the official contention count, but he is bringing contention. I also am going Colts. I think Aaron Rodgers has barely won a game that he might not have won. I think he lost some games that maybe he could have, whatever. I think right now their defense is not looking as sharp as it has in years past. And I think the Colts offense is clicking on all cylinders. I think JT doesn't get 3 against the Steelers, but I think it's still a Colts win. And I think they still score in the 30s. I think they're keeping that average up there. So.
And both of these results that we've picked with these games for Matthew and I would put Baltimore now just 1 game out of first place in the AFC North at that point.
And, strangely enough, I think Baltimore might come back and take that away and ruin Aaron Rodgers' year. He was really hoping this one would be different. We'll see. Chargers, Titans. I'm going Chargers. I have no faith in the Titans. They didn't look good at all against the Colts.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Chargers.
It's concerning when it's at Tennessee and ESPN is telling me I can get tickets to the game for $23. I mean, that's a sign of high respect right there that your team's going to do well.
Yeah, Cam Ward, who they keep talking about, has had some flashes. He wasn't looking particularly great anywhere, I think that the Titans are toast. I think the Titans are going to start selling off things. I think the Titans are done for this year.
It is a Mike McCoy revenge game, former Chargers head coach. So you never know. But I'm still going the Chargers.
I think I can know that as much as I know this next game, Rams Saints, will be the Rams. I'm picking it. I'm guaranteeing it. Rams will beat the Saints.
Give me the Rams.
Yes. Los Angeles will sleep easy this week in the football world. Not for the Dodgers, though.
Right. Jags, Raiders. I'm going
Jaguars. Yeah, Jaguars.
Jags.
Much as I don't want the Jags to win, they will. Then we come to this is only a Sunday afternoon game. Chiefs, Bills. Both with 5 wins right now.
How is this not flexed to Sunday Night Football?
I know. I agree. Because what do you have on Sunday night? Seahawks, Commanders. You think more people are going to tune into the Seahawks, Commanders out of decision rather than the have to than the Chiefs, Bills? Whew. Should have been flexed, but what do you got? Chiefs or Bills?
I'm going Chiefs. I'm starting to fall in love with this Chiefs offense and really enjoy watching the Chiefs. I also really enjoy the Bills. So I hated the Chiefs when it was just this they can't get anything going, and yet they're still somehow winning games. But I'm starting to I might be vanquished from the podcast from this, but I'm starting to like the Chiefs again. So
you are also a big Swiftie, aren't you?
No, I know Taylor Swift songs, but I would not consider myself a big Swiftie.
You keep yourself a healthy distance away. All right. if Josh comes out by the end of the season, just rooting for Taylor Swift, we're gonna know this is not a Kansas City Chiefs problem.
Brandon, are you going to weigh in here before I go in?
Buffalo.
Going Buffalo. Okay.
Going Buffalo.
So I'm going to say this. I love Buffalo. I've rooted for Buffalo for a long time. I feel like the Chiefs are going to win this. And in saying that, I hate everything I'm saying. I hate it. I don't love this team more now. I hate this team more now. I hate this team as much and ever. As always, I will, the Chiefs. But I do feel like the Chiefs right now are playing. They're just playing better. The Bills aren't playing badly, but they've shown some cracks. They've shown some mortality. I guess the Chiefs have too. They started off 0-3, goodness sakes, but where they're at right now looks so different than where they were at 0-3 with both Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. And it's just, I don't know. I would love to be wrong on this one. So I'm hoping, Brandon, that you are the right one this week, but I am saying the Chiefs win this with all the hate I have. Commanders Seahawks. I'm sorry, Josh Haupt out there, wherever you are, but the Commanders are not looking like any sort of competition that's going to beat the Seahawks right now. Seahawks are looking really strong. They're one of those teams that, everybody's like, oh, who's the cream of the NFC? I see several NFC teams that look pretty strong, but the Seahawks are definitely one of them, along with the Rams, and I don't know who else. But like right now, Seahawks are up there for me, and I think they're going to beat the Commanders.
Yes, I agree.
I'm going to go Commanders on this one. If I say Seahawks, I'm afraid I'm going to get a certain pointed phone call from a certain individual who will not be named.
He's probably not going to be happy with me, but he's also got to admit that right now Commanders are struggling a little bit, and the Seahawks don't seem to be struggling a little bit. So maybe there'll be
if anyone wants a good time, thinking that Josh won't be listening to this episode, during a game, any time like the opponent scores any sort of yardage, it doesn't matter. Just text Josh and say, did the defense show up to play tonight? And
for a good time, call Josh Haupt.
That's right. So when did I do this? Let me see. All right, Josh Haupt. Scroll back.
He's going back to look at when he harassed Josh Haupt like this. And as he does,
it's a regular thing.
I was going to say, can you find just one date? While he's getting that, Cardinals Cowboys are going to be our Monday night game. Who do you guys think is going to win that? Because we got a Cowboys team that has only won 3. We've got a Cardinals team that has only won 2, but been so close to winning a lot more.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys.
Is Kyler back or no?
I don't know. I think like health-wise, he's ready to go, but I don't know if they're going to start him over Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, I am not sure at this point.
But you're going Cowboys.
I'll go Dallas.
I should go Cowboys, but we only have 3 contention games in this between me and Josh, and I feel like that's too few. Do I want to make this
Do it, Matthew.
hill I die on?
Do it.
Cardinals. The funny thing is, if anybody would pick the Cardinals, I would think it would be Josh. But
yeah, right now Josh can take his family to the game for $21 a ticket. It's the cheapest game this week.
It's in Dallas, but
you could still take him for $21.
You can still do it. Well, $21 to get in the game. It would take you more to get there, but
that's right.
Man, I don't know if I can do it. I can't do it. I think the Cowboys are going to win this one. I really wanted to push a contention here, but I just don't know how the Cardinals are going to do that. So we're going with a season low 3-game contention this week here for the Football Fandemic crew. And now again, Brandon had some contentions in there that we didn't put in the official 3. So really there are more than 3. And I hate that we can't count yours in the official just because of those weeks that you weren't there. But
yeah, I can retroactively go back and tell you who I would have put, knowing the scores of the games.
You're like, strangely enough, I got 100% on all those pass
right.
because I really would have picked them. You're like, what?
All right, I found my message to Josh Haupt.
Okay.
This was the Commanders game 2 weeks ago, and I texted him right at the beginning of the game. I said, "Did the Commanders forget to bring their defense this evening?" And this was after like a 6-yard play. I don't remember who they were playing. And he said 100%. And I said, and your O-line's just letting you down. He's like, chill, bro. The offense is coming back. And then halfway, that was at the beginning of the game. And then halfway through the fourth quarter, I texted him again. I said, did the defense fall asleep? And he was so nervous he was nervous that whole game. He chose to respond. I threw it out there. He didn't have to respond. But if you're looking for a good time, I 10 out of 10 recommend.
Now we're going to go to Marquee Manure and My Oh My, the last little thing we usually do here on the podcast will be the last thing we do again here today. And I'm going to start because I may only get one that I get to say first. And I'm going to start with the marquee game. I think we all already said it when we said, how is that not flexed to Sunday night? I think Bills Chiefs has got to be your marquee game. If it, unless you guys have to pick something different, just so we have, some difference on the board. I think most of us would have picked that one, and I probably stole that from all of you. So not sorry. My marquee, Chiefs Bills. What do you guys got?
I will go. I would have gone with that one, but
Yeah.
for the sake of difference, I will go with the 28-3 bowl, the Falcons and the Patriots.
You think it'll be a marquee, huh?
Yeah, two sophomore quarterbacks dueling up against one another. Two top running backs with Travion Henderson and Bijan Robinson, and of course the 2016 Super Bowl revenge game 8 or 9 years later.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
What about you, Brandon?
I'm going to go with a game that we all could realistically see it going either direction. I don't think it's going to be the one that most people are going to turn on. It's a game that's at noon, and I'm going to go Denver at Houston.
I thought you were going to say Colts Steelers. I'm like, don't you dare say any of us could see it going either way. Okay, all right.
That was me. I could see it going either way.
For Denver, for Broncos, Texans,
Denver, Houston.
Yeah,
we were all pretty like, oh, we could see this or we could see this, and
okay,
I'm going to go that as the marquee game.
I could get down with that. All right, so we're going manure game, and I'm not going to steal this one. I do have one that I think we're all going to pick, but I'm going to not let Brandon go first. We're going to let Josh go first.
Oh boy, manure. There's a couple. I'm going to say for one of either two reasons. Either Lamar Jackson comes back and it's a total domination of the Dolphins, or Tyler Huntley is in the game and it is a total just no-show by both of these teams. So I'll go with Ravens and Dolphins.
Okay. Then I'm not going to get my choice because I'm letting Brandon go next.
I'm going to go Sunday Night Football, Seattle at Washington.
Oh, I do get my choice. Okay, so you're going Seattle at Washington. You think that'll be a manure game?
Yeah, sorry, Josh. Other Josh.
I went with what I thought everybody was going to pick, the Bears-Bengals at noon. Oh, I just don't think that's going to be a good game for either team. I had to pick one. I think I picked the Bengals just so we'd have some contention, but boy, that's not going to be a pretty game. I don't think.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Matthew. Anytime the Bears are on the field, it's a manure game. But sometimes manure makes you smile when it stinks bad enough and it renovates your garden, right? But I think
your team, the Packers, through the Bears losses.
I'm mainly going Seattle, Washington because it's Sunday night. Like it's poor scheduling, and I think there's plenty of other games I'd rather see Sunday night. I'd rather see Minnesota, Detroit Sunday night.
Yeah. Josh is like, I can't believe you just said that.
I don't want any more primetime games right now. I just want to break from being the only team on television and watching the offensive line crumble.
Let's go for my oh my, and we'll let Brandon start this one.
My oh my, this was one area that I had contention in, and I still believe I am right until I'm proven wrong this next weekend. I'm going to go Indianapolis, Pittsburgh.
Okay. I don't think that's a bad game, and I think a my oh my can be like, hey, this is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go. I typically never go with one of my team or my team in these categories, but I'm going to go Vikings, Detroit, my oh my, JJ McCarthy. We don't need any more games to see. He is the future of the Minnesota Vikings.
Surprise everybody
with a big win, 5 touchdown passes, 360 yards. 0 interceptions. What did we say the number of most complete record of most completions in a
25.
row? 27 completions in a row. Justin Jefferson breaks Brandon Marshall's single game reception record, and it's a JJ McCarthy fest in Detroit.
This has
Josh, how much are you How much are you going to stake on this? Is it going to be 60 minutes of Scatterboo ankle twisting? If you're wrong.
I would need astronomical odds, but yes. Yeah, I will not stake anything on this one.
All right.
So I picked Bills Chiefs as my marquee. I fully intended to go Colts Steelers as a my oh my, but since it's already been picked, I'm going to pick one that hasn't been picked this round, has been picked in this session here, and that is Broncos Texans. I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be a good game. Somebody picked that as marquee. Was that you, Josh?
I did.
Brandon. Okay. Yeah. So I think those are going to be some good games to watch, and we'll see which of us got these right. Which of us got the best marquee game. I bet it's not going to be the Bears game as the marquee. So anyway, that's going to do it for us today here on the Football Fandemic. Thanks for joining us, and come back next week, Tuesday at 3:00. That's when it's all going to go down. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for joining us. See y'all.